They move among us, but have powers we can scarcely imagine. They are the natural world's finest hunters. One uses heat. One hunts with sound. And one uses the power of electricity. 3 extrasensory predators. But what are the secrets behind their powers?
It's like a scalpel. You don't even feel it at first.
I could watch this all night.
To understand how these animals work, we've built detailed virtual models of their bodies using the latest scientific data. With them, we'll venture deep inside these creatures to find out what gives them their extraordinary powers. Join me as we embark upon a quest to unravel the mysteries behind animal superpowers. There are creatures on this planet that have evolved strange senses to hunt their prey. These extrasensory powers give them the edge in a dangerous world where it's kill or be killed. Take the hammerhead shark. This strange-looking animal possesses an equally strange superpower. An extra sense that gives them a formidable advantage in the hunt for prey, and might even help them navigate across vast oceans. Hammerheads are voracious predators, capable of eating large fish and even other sharks. But much about the lives of these remarkable animals is still shrouded in mystery. What we do know is that they see the world very differently to us humans. To find out more, we must travel to the Florida Keys, where one scientist is turning the tables and hunting the hunters.
So we're down here in the Florida Keys, and we're motoring over to a habitat that's very rich with potential prey items. These are a large number of wild sharks.
Marine biologist Steve Kaijura studies how sharks see the world. Today, he's fishing for hammerheads.
One of the big advantages of being here in Florida is that we are able to run down to the Keys anytime we want to get a large number of wild sharks. What I like to do with these sharks is bring them back to the lab and run some experiments on them. And the advantage there is that these are naive animals. They've never been in captivity. They've never been subjected to any sort of conditioning at all. We're able to get a natural response from these sharks, just as they would respond out in the wild. So we're just in the process of setting a gill net here, and this is a net running between the boat and the mangroves over there. And the advantage to that is you have a lot of sharks that associate with the seagrass and the mangroves. So anything swimming back and forth along here is going to encounter the net. The students will be able to grab the shark and run it back to the boat very quickly. It's amazing. They're little sharks as babies, as pups, but they have extremely sharp teeth. And it's like a scalpel. You don't even feel it at first. And then you look down, you see all these parallel blood marks all over your fingers and thumbs where they've gotten you and slashed across.
These warm, prey-rich waters are perfect hunting grounds for young sharks. It's not long before they spot one.
Splash in the water right near the end. Right near the end there.
The shark is a young male bonnethead. It's the smallest of the 9 species of hammerhead, making it easy to handle and a perfect subject for Steve's tests.
We just caught a bonnet. We deliberately have the shark upside down
This enables it to go into a state called tonic immobility. It's kind of like a trance-like state. The shark just sort of lies there and relaxes. It makes it much easier for us to transport them, less stressful for the animal.
Having a head shaped like a hammer may look weird, but having eyes so far apart gives it an advantage.
You can see the eyes stuck way off on the ends of the head, over here and over here. And so you're wondering what they are actually able to see. They actually have a very good sense of vision. Their visual field extends something like this, all the way around through here, and the same on this side. So what's interesting is these guys can see almost a full 360 all the way around them, whereas we are very focused binocular. We see what's in front of us. We don't see anything that's going on back here. These guys are able to see almost all the way around their entire head.
While we'll never be able to see through a hammerhead's eyes, Steve has built the next best thing.
So what we have here is a system with 3 cameras mounted together that should simulate the visual field of a shark. This type of visual field enables the shark to see all around them. They're able to look for prey, look for predators, look for mates. It just informs them very well of what's around them in their environment. I would love to see the world as the hammerhead sees it.
This super sight helps these animals catch prey, but it's not their real superpower. To investigate the extra sense that makes hammerheads so special, Steve needs to get this shark back to the lab as soon as possible.
It can't swim. It can't swim around in that tank. So we need to get it back into a large holding tank where it is able to swim freely.
This shark is most vulnerable when it's out of the water. Steve must move quickly.
Oh, I'm ecstatic. This is great. It's so good to grab a shark and be able to bring it back and throw it in the tank and have it swim so well right away without having to have any sort of revival. That's the real trick with this, is getting the sharks back right away before they have a chance to stress too much.
In the bright light and clear water of the lagoon, the hammerhead can spot prey using its superb vision. But surprisingly, they rarely hunt during the day.
The sun is setting. It's getting to be dusk, and a lot of the sharks are going to be out hunting. They tend to be generally more active from dusk until dawn, searching, hunting for prey. Whereas vision is important, well, it doesn't really do you much good at night when it's dark out.
There is a way to find prey, even in the pitch black. In salt water, every living creature generates a weak electric current. And because water conducts electricity, the current flows away from the animal into the sea. It surrounds each living creature with an electric field, a glowing halo not visible with normal sight. But these fields are extremely weak, 1 million times less powerful than those generated by a household light bulb. Sensing them at all is a real challenge. Steve is convinced hammerheads locate prey by sensing these minute electric fields. And he's set up an ingenious experiment to prove it.
So what I'm going to do is place this acrylic plate on the bottom of the pond here. The acrylic plate has 2 circles on it, one here and one here, and those are actually lead via these underwater cables that are going to plug in here up to a stimulator box. This stimulator box has a battery in it, and what I'll be doing is producing a very weak electric current that flows across here, and that sets up an electric field that the shark will think is a type of prey item, like a little crab or fish or something, and come in and bite at it.
By making the current bigger and smaller, Steve can test how sensitive the hammerhead's electrosense is.
So I'm turning on the electric current now. I can see that there's 20 microamps of current passed across the electrodes over there.
At first, the sharks don't seem interested. But that changes when they get in range.
There, bonnet, biting at the electrode. Clearly biting at electrode 1, coming back, biting again, and off, and switching, and electrode 1 on again. There, good biting. Exactly what we expected to see. The shark's attracted to the electric stimulus.
Experiments like this prove that hammerhead sharks can detect the weak electric fields that surround all living things underwater.
Sharks have the most sensitive electrosensory system, able to detect electric fields down in the range of a few billionths of a volt per centimeter, tiny little voltage gradients.
This is a genuine sixth sense. It's made possible by strange structures clearly visible beneath the shark's head.
If you look carefully on the tip of the snout, you can see all these little black pores all over the surface of the head. Those are all the electroreceptors.
To understand how these pores work, we have to take a closer look at the shark's hammer-shaped head. Each pore is lined with cells that are sensitive enough to detect the tiniest electric current. The pores are highly directional, with a range of 1.5 meters. They act like invisible whiskers, allowing the hammerhead to pinpoint exactly where its prey is, even in total darkness. This extraordinary power gives hammerheads a killer advantage when hunting at night. But hammerheads don't just use their electrosense to hunt.
172 Pop Kilo, request 500 feet.
Steve has been surveying shark numbers off the Florida coast all year, using a camera mounted on his aircraft. In the summer, they're here in their thousands. Each of these black dots is a hammerhead shark. But in winter, he finds very few. And that means the sharks are on the move, some migrating thousands of kilometers over the course of a year.
It's critical that they're able to find food, find mates, and do that consistently year after year. And so if you were to not have the ability to home in and come back to an area that you knew was populated by a lot of other members of the same species, then you wouldn't be very productive, very successful as a species.
For any sea creature, navigating underwater is a major challenge. The oceans are vast, and visibility is poor.
How are organisms able to migrate and make these huge long-distance migrations without any clear visual cues, any other way to keep track of where they are?
On these epic underwater journeys, we think the hammerhead is guided by its superpower. Underneath the surface of the sea lie the vast valleys and mountains of the ocean floor. These huge geological features would make perfect signposts for ocean dwellers navigating the seas. But at these depths, there's no light to see them by. So hammerhead sharks have evolved a unique way to navigate in the dark. Some of the rocks on the ocean floor have a distinct magnetic signature. Even though hammerheads can't see these rocks with their eyes, we think they can sense them with their electroreceptors. For the hammerhead, this turns the ocean floor into a map with distinct landmarks and even highways. This super sense makes hammerheads master navigators capable of migrating thousands of kilometers without losing their way. Armed with this sophisticated electromagnetic super sense, these sharks make formidable predators.
If you look at the whole of the animal kingdom,
There are really very few species that we know of that have the ability to detect electric fields in their environment. So in that sense, you could say that the organisms who have this electrosense, it really provides them with some sort of superpower compared to other fishes and other organisms that simply don't have it. So I've been studying hammerheads for, over a decade now, and I'm still not done. There are still a lot more questions that need to be addressed, so I think that I'm going to be studying hammerheads for quite a while longer yet.
The hammerhead's ability to sense electricity has given it a huge advantage as an ocean predator.